Good evening, Tammy. Welcome to Music Trivia. Alicia, good evening. Pretty in Camo, Smith Shoes, good evening. So, 5-6 Casino. Weird. It's music trivia. Everything will start in 6. Welcome to trivia. Blurred screen. Now, we've had service provided, and it's not just our house station. It's everybody. It doesn't matter what internet service provider you have. Everybody out here is having an issue. They think it's either one of the main fiber optic lines that feed the subdivision or something along that lines, because everyone started to have issues on the same day. So it's going up and down. Like right now, I'm watching it. It's going up and down between 5 bars and 1 bar. Just it's going up and down. Reception is awful. Good evening, Connie Kelly. Thank you, Dorothy, for letting me know. I'm trying to the best I can. I have a Wi-Fi signal booster is sitting right here next to the desk, and I'm doing the everything I can on my end to try to make it as good as I can, but nothing's working. It's that we rely on the internet for so much, and then you find out just how when things go wrong, they go wrong. Kevin says hello too. Well, hello, Kevin. We're gonna get this party going because I have no idea how long it's going to last. The actual internet service is going to work tonight. It's the Russians. It could be the Russians. All right. Music trivia. First question. Susie and the Banshees had many hits on the UK charts and many others worldwide, including in the US. However, they only had one song reach the top of the charts. What was it? A. Touched by You. B. Kiss Them for Me. C. 22 to Life. Or D. Bangers and Crumps. Susie and the Banshees. I forgot all about Susie and the Banshees, to tell you the truth, until I was putting these trivia questions together. I was like, wow. I actually YouTube and actually listened to some of their music again. Been a long time. Good evening, Starfire. Again to everybody, letting everybody know who's just joining us. I know the internet service is going up and down, and the signal might be weak, and you might lose clarity. There's going to be a bing here in a second. Sorry about that. My favorite song from them is "She's Lie Eye." I had forgotten all about them, to tell you the truth. The only song I really remembered was "Peekaboo." Yeah. Didn't Robert Smith play on Peekaboo? The lead singer of The Cure? I think he was on that song with them. The guitar. I could be wrong about that though. All right. Question number 1. The correct answer is B as in boy. Kiss Them for Me was the only number 1 hit that they ever had. Question, move my cursor over here to the other screen. Question 2. The Cure 1989 release of the album This Generation wasn't well received by Elektra Records. They called it a willfully obscure album. How many copies did they sell in the first 8 months after release? Was it A, 1 million copies, B, 200,000 70 copies, or C, 10 million copies, or D, 2.7 copies in 8 months? How many copies of their 1989 release did they sell in the first 8 months? You can't see the question? The Cure. They definitely had some songs you could not release today on radio. I think the very first song that I ever heard by The Cure was "Killing an Egyptian" or something like whatever that song was. "Killing an Arab." I think it was "Killing an Arab." That was like the very first song I ever heard by them. My sister's friend or somebody, had a like one of those mixtapes that they recorded off of the radio. That was the first time I heard of them. Long, long ago. Welcome to Music Trivia, Fran. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Willfully obscure album. There's an entire interview you can watch about this actual trivia question and how Robert Smith, when was so upset with the record company, they actually thought about trying to get out of their contract because they didn't they didn't like the way that the record company was treating them. Fascination Street was a great song, and Love Cats too. Fascination Street is a great album. I have a copy of it here. Purple, good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. The Cure's 1989 album Generation. Inner Peas, good evening. I did. We didn't. We watched it. Tesla went for a ride in the grape fields. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like it would be a great weekend. We have a huge like a grape like vineyard here that's just outside of our housing development, but they don't do anything with the grapes at all. They're wine grapes, but it's part of two major universities like horticulture. There's like different kinds of them, but they're I don't know what they're actually experimenting or why they're growing them all. I just know they belong to Washington State University and UW. It's like a joint venture. But I don't know, maybe that it's part of their horticulture and wine and crafting. I don't know. I just know it goes from miles and miles to the grapes. You're eating now grapes as a snack? Excuse me. I remember the interview with Robert Smith when they asked him, "Would you like to hang out with Billy Idol?" He replied, "I'd like to kill Billy Idol." Wow. I don't remember that, but I wouldn't be surprised by that. Black grapes. Not staying tonight. I just wanted to say hello, and I love it over in Eastern Washington. Oh, thank you, Purple. We live in the wine country. Was fine at Leprechaun Weekend. We don't drink, but they're so beautiful. I just got a DSLR, trying to learn how to use it. Oh, that's cool. Did you get a Canon or something like that, Fran? I have two different Canons. I got a Rebel R, and I have a Canon PowerShot SX530HS. All right, question 2. The correct answer is D as in dog. 2.7 million copies sold in the first 8 months after this release. And like I said, there's an entire video you can watch on YouTube about with Robert Smith and him talking about how the record company Elektra Records was treating them. And they said that they don't feel like the the band put their best effort forward for that album. And they actually wrote that to him, and he framed the letter. He still has it to this day. He says in his home copy of that record, of the letter from the Elektra Records, saying that the album was willfully obscure. I like ice wine. It only grows way up in north in New York. That's my one of my wife's favorite is an ice wine. She loves them. They Canon. That's cool, Fran. I hope you enjoy your new camera. All right, question 3. The Cure said that they would never use their music in advertisements. However, Robert Smith, lead singer, did allow it to be used twice. What was it used for in 2007? Was it a Fiat ad, B, an ad for a dating site, C, a CBD shop, or D, an ad for HP cameras? The Cure said they would never use their music in advertisements. However, Robert Smith, lead singer, did allow it to be used twice. What was it used for in 2007? It's white. I can't remember the name of the company that or the winery that makes the one that my wife likes, but I know it's an ice wine. Really, really sweet wine. But she likes that. She's not a big wine drinker in himself. I mean, she might go through a bottle once every 3 months. Takes her a while to drink one. She'll have a glass here and there, but not very often. Thank you for putting the link up there, Interpeas. And yes, that's my wife's YouTube channel. She plays Minecraft mostly. She occasionally plays other games, but it's mostly just Minecraft. Really good community of people there. The kids call it Kool-Aid. What was the Cure's music used for in 2007? What kind of ad? I didn't even know what CBD was in 2007. Too sweet. I think that ice wines they're definitely too sweet for me. I mean, my wife likes them. I'm more when I do drink wine, more of a rosé or a Chardonnay, more my palate. I like that or a good red. I don't think many CBD shops then. What was it? Rocky Road lady, good evening and welcome to Music Trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It depends undergarments. I just realized that you guys can't see me. There. Put myself. I just looked at the screen and I realized that my little picture is not there. Hi. The only wines I like is vodka. Denise Carr, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Glad you could be here with us tonight. Okay, question number 3. What was the Cure's music used for in 7? The correct answer is D, as in dog. HP cameras. The first time there was used in advertising was for a Fiat commercial, and that was several years prior. Then the HP camera, commercial, they used their Fascination Street, or one of those songs off of that album, I think it was, or that maybe was that song. But time that their music was used in advertisement, and by the way, did not agree with licensing the. Thought it was thing to do. They were never going to do it because they never wanted to mainstream culture or having their music used that way. They didn't view themselves as like jingle people. So, a little Betty said that she lives so long that she liked hot dog vodka. Any Russian vodka, not allowed for sale. Send it to my due. I'll take it off your hands. I wonder, will bars still be allowed to sell white ribs? Dun dun dun. That's a good one. Pretty camo. Will, if you and cement shoes. Let's see where the boost is. Yeah. Crying shame. Good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. Man, I never get to play. Dinner is ready. I'll see y'all later. Bye, Fran. Thank you for stopping in. All right. Question 4. The Allman Brothers. Which of the following songs is not an instrumental? A, Little Martha. B, One Way Out. C, Hot Land. Or D, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. Which one is not an instrumental by the band The Allman Brothers? Technical difficulties. We tried 5 times last night to get that stupid stream to work. Finally, we just gave up. We tried everything, but nothing we can do about it, really, because it's in our entire subdivision. And in this subdivision, there's, I think, 36 homes total. But it didn't matter what the internet provider is. Everybody is having the same difficulty. Everyone, because it's all over our homeowners association, front page. People complaining of internet outages. What's going on? When are they coming out? When are they having it fixed? There's probably hundreds of posts there. Just think, it's on the weekend, and there's probably a lot of kids and teenagers out there who can't, play their video games or whatever. Oh no, they have to go outside. Broke the internet. Instrumental Jessica. It's bad if people have well, so much of what I do is based, and I have to have the internet, cloud storage. My Then there's that, these slides, for, I'm using Google Slides program, and then my editing software, and then streaming. That's all I need the internet for all of that. With no internet, I can't, I'm pretty much, my hands are tied. So like I grab my tablet and I have to go to, in the town, which is about 7 miles to a McDonald's. That's the closest place that has internet. So yeah, it's not fun. F Twinkie, twinkle twinkle little star. Which of the following songs is not an instrumental by the Allman Brothers? Hubby works from home. We had builder put a whole house generator in. We have a backup generator for the subdivision. We have our own sub power station, but that's because we're so far outside of town. But we always have power. But internet is usually something that that it's an individual basis. Like my neighbor might have Zipply, or then neighbor may have Qualcomm, whatever provider they can get, or maybe they're using T-Mobile at, for home. But everybody, no matter what your service provider is right now, went wrong somewhere, and the entire thing is pretty much down and out for everybody in their subdivision. So we're thinking it has to be something, a fiber optic line or something along those lines. Something got cut or short or I don't know. I'm not a technician. I just know it doesn't work. It's not working right. If you call one more time. See you all later. Bye, man. You have a good one. All right. Which one of these songs is not an instrumental by Allman Brothers? For question mark. The correct answer is A, Little Martha. Little Martha is not an instrumental. Question number 5. Allman Brothers member Dwayne Allman was shot and killed. True or false? True or false? Dwayne Allman was shot and killed. False. Hey, Rykart. Good evening. Welcome to Music Trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week and weekend. And Philly Cat, good evening. Welcome as well. False, because Cement said so. Excuse me. E, he was killed by a mountain lion. We're back to the mountain lion attacks again. Was Dwayne Allman shot and killed? Question number 5. Those mountain lions sure do get around. Yes, they do. Rocky Road Lady says A. Where's Barry Morphew? Yeah, no, the mountain lion. Yeah, it's supposed to be almond. You're right. Almond. Or is he the bobcat? Almond. 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 True or false? Was Dwayne Allman shot and killed? Jennifer, good evening. Running behind? Well, we're only on question 5, Jennifer, and welcome to Music Trivia. More like Cane Toad. Since 1915, only 14 recorded fatal mountain lion attacks in combined U.S. and Canada. Thank you for the information, Cement Shoes. But you never know. They're still pesky little suckers. I've never seen one in the wild. In all of my years of hunting, I've never seen one. They must be really good at hiding. I've caught pictures of a mountain lion on my trail cam, but I've never seen one in actual or had any experience with them. Used to be a really avid hunter. Every year we used to go deer hunting, but I never saw a mountain lion. Seen tracks, and stuff like that, but I've never actually had an experience where I saw one in the wild. I've seen a whole lot more bears than I've ever seen mountain lions. Good evening, Colleen. Welcome to Music Trivia. Barry Morphew would hate me for knowing that. Starfire. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Couple of years back, Simply Better. Wow. All right. Question 5 is the correct answer is false. Dwayne Allman was killed in a motorcycle accident. He was not shot and killed. He died in a motorcycle accident. Question number 6. I saw a small mountain lion one time in Roswell, New Mexico, as I was bike riding. Wow. I'm a dummy. I'd run across the lion and probably try to pet it. I mean, they're beautiful, beautiful looking cats. I'll give them that. If in maybe 30 years of hunting, you would say, at some point, I would have had some kind of, cross with one, stumbled upon one, somewhere in all those years. I've never seen one. Just not one of those things that's ever happened. I've seen bobcats. I've seen all kinds of other, animals that could harm me. But I've never seen, lion. Just caught it on my trail cam. That's it. All right, question 6. Willie Nelson. What's the most common nickname for Willie Nelson? Is it A, Big Red, B, Redheaded Stepchild, C, Redheaded Stranger, or D, Red? What is the most common nickname for Willie Nelson? I don't pet animals that aren't with their owners. I'm careful, says Amy. And good evening, Amy. I don't know if I said hello or not. I'm sorry if I didn't. Denise Carr says Dorothy. Dorothy, welcome to Music Trivia. Dorothy's going with C as well. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Yeah. See, I better get this one. Let's pin it. Our ends going with C as well. And Cement Shoes will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Calling for one. This is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. The Bob Newhart Show. I like that show. They don't make television like that anymore. Then again, I assume that they don't because, well, frankly, I don't listen. Don't have for it, nor do I have the desire to put up with it. I stream. I watch things on streaming, or things on YouTube like that, but very rarely do I ever, sit down and watch, like a television show. Bob Newhart is still alive. Useless trivia. I love Bob. Used to watch Nick at Night. Every night, LOL. Nick at Night. Wow. Now there's something I haven't seen in a long time. Nick at Night. What is the most common nickname for Willie Nelson? Trapped in the 1970s, says Interpeace. Corn fuel should be his nickname. Ethanol. R.C. Wallace died from that show. All right, the answer to question 6, what is the most common nickname for Willie Nelson? The correct answer is C, as in cat. Red-headed stranger. She's also Mrs. Crabapple on The Simpsons, right? All right, moving on to question 7. Served his country in the armed forces, willing to re-enlist later in life. What branch was he in? Was he in the Marines, the Army, the Navy, or the Air Force? What branch of service did Willie Nelson serve? C, B, and D. Another D. D seems to be the most popular answer so far. Branch of service. He was one of the village people. YMCA. Willie smokes a lot of weed. Gotta be the air he likes to fly. Good evening, Samantha. welcome to Music Trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. He certainly likes to fly. He likes to get higher than the Empire State Building, that's for sure. He probably served next to Elvis Presley. Willie Nelson served his country in the armed forces, even willing to re-enlist later in life. What branch was he in? Debbie Gilligan. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. I hope you're all having a good I am. Thanks for joining us tonight, Debbie. Now, I'll let you know, Debbie, since you're just joining us now, that the internet service is up and down. Hopefully it doesn't drop out completely, but we're doing the best we can here. I've got everything I've set up here to try to keep it, the signal strength up as much as I can. But you will see it, audio quality will crack up, and the picture will actually get grainy. But his sister Bobby passed away this weekend. Really? Willie Nelson served his country in the armed forces, even willing to re-enlist later in life. What branch of service was he in? Ladies and gentlemen, Willie Nelson was in D, the United States Air Force. Air Force. There it is. All right. Simon and Garfunkel argued and fought each other over releasing their first single. Is it true or false that The Silence was their very first single and first #1 single hit? Is that true or false? Simon and Garfunkel argued and fought each other over releasing the first single. Is it true or false that The Sound of Silence was their first single, first #1 hit single? Played piano for him. 90 years. Wow. Piece. No, I don't know. Simon and Garfunkel argued and fought each other over releasing their first single. Is it true or false that Sound of Silence was their very first single and #1 hit single? I'm listening, and me and my mom are guessing, but I'm playing my game, so nothing much. Shame. And welcome to your mother. Glad you and your mother are playing along. She might be able to help you with some of these answers. All right, for question, the correct answer is A, as in apple. They did release, the record company did release two other tracks at the same time as the Sound of Silence, but the Silence was the very first one to get number one. It was their release, so there are three songs released at the same time, but only the Sound of Silence was their number one hit. 1965. Quite a while ago, ladies and gentlemen. A while ago. Question 9. Simon and Garfunkel again. What was the original name of the song Mrs. Robinson? Was it A, Mrs. Steen, B, Miss Roosevelt, C, Miss Riverside, or D, Miss Rundersoft? What was the original name for the song Mrs. Robinson? How could they argue about that masterpiece? Denise, you should read up on the history of between Simon and Garfunkel. When they first started off, they were really close friends, but the longer that they stayed near each other, they fought like cats and dogs. They just could not get along, and finally they just said, "That's it." Artistically, we just cannot be around each other. But they fought about a lot of things, and a lot of it, in hindsight now, is people look back, and I'm sure they do as well, realize that a lot of it was really petty things. I don't want to sing in that song. And it got to that point where it's like, I don't think that this song needs two vocals. Only one of us should do it. I mean, they fought about the simplest, and kind of foolish things. But I mean, I guess they always remained close to each other, and it's just they determined that they could not work together anymore, and that was basically at the end of it. They just decided that it's better to save our friendship, we go in different directions. Have you heard of the remake of the music? Remake of the music? No. Sorry, Sound of Music. Sound of Music. I mean, I've heard the remake of the the movie, the stage play, Sound of Music. Misunderstood. Simon and Garfunkel. What was the original name of the song Mrs. Robinson? Totally off topic, but I have a craft swap with someone from Colorado. Really? Samantha McDonald misbehaving. And to tell you the truth, I did not know that there was another name for this song, or another, that it wasn't always Mrs. Robinson. I always figured that was the name of the song. I didn't know that they ever changed it. Oh, now I have definitely heard that version, Colleen, the Silence by Disturbed. It's a very good remake. I think it works perfectly, with that song, and a black and white, imagery of the actual video for it. It was very well done. What was the original name of the song Miss Robinson? You don't like the remake? I guess it's not for everybody, Samantha Shoes. All right. Question: what was the original name of the song Mrs. Robinson? The correct answer B as in boy, Mrs. Roosevelt. Miss Roosevelt was the original name of the song. Okay, get your Googling fingers ready for the trivia question of the night, the prize question. Let you read over the rules. They haven't changed. These are the official rules as of 1/10/2022. Okay, so you have 5 minutes. You can use Google, Bing, search engine, whatever you need to. Yell out the window and stop someone on the street. Do whatever you need to do. Ask anyone. I encourage you to use any and all that you can to come up with the answer. The first person to answer the question that I you correctly wins. The first person. You have to have, and it tells you right on the screen what your requirements for the answer to be correct are. So here we go, and you have 5 minutes. Musical artists, either as part of a band or solo, have been take on different names. Sometimes they never admit that they did. So tonight's question is, who went by the name Sir Ennis for his side? Correct answer must be first and last name. Tonight's question is worth $10 since we had a winner last week. You need to have first and last name of the artist whose project he went by Sir Ennis. You have 5 minutes. Why does your voice seem like it wants to mute? Will, I don't know, Reichert. I'm having issues with the internet. It's going up and down. It's all over the place. I'm bouncing back and forth between 1 bar and 5 bars, and I'm really sorry about that. We got John Blondie, Colin Blunstone. Not sure who that is, but don't you use sir if you are knighted by the queen? Normally, I mean, it doesn't stop people from taking on the name, side projects, or as a stage name. There are a lot of people out there that use, Esquire or, that are not attorneys, or not even in the legal field. There are, in today's internet world, there are people that are on YouTube that say that they're doctors who have never been to medical school and never went to college, but they call themselves a doctor on YouTube. And it's disturbing as all heck, that people can do things like this. Sir Bob Geldof, Richard Ennis, Sir Elton John. I'm thinking Elton John or Paul McCartney. Excuse me. Sir Paul McCartney. I do believe Paul McCartney and Elton John have both been knighted by the Queen. So I do think they both of them are legally allowed. But again, you know, there are a lot of people out there that use it and who have never. Who went by the name Sir Ennis for his side project? John Matthew. Good evening, Betty Blue. Welcome to Music Trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Jimmy Salvi. Google that piece of crap. Yes, Samantha. I'm well aware who Jimmy Salvi is. No need to Google that monster. And you just think how long he got away with all that. A long, long time. There were people that tried to sound the alarm for years, but nobody wanted to hear it because he was such a a popular icon, and he did so much for the underprivileged. Wow. Just wow. Happy St. Patty's weekend. You know, my family doesn't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Like, like most Americans, green beer or something, clothing, you got to pinch someone wearing green. It's just another week to us. I'm talking about not just my family like here, but I'm talking about my entire extended family, back home. We just never have. Shoot, there are celebrities just like him, Will. Oh yeah. Up in the 70s, he was everywhere. Creep. We don't celebrate in the North generally. Chandler Halderson sentencing next week. Next week, is it? Really? Wow. All right. Jazzle dazzle. All right. Time is up, ladies and gentlemen, for the trivia question, and no one got it correct. So next week will be worth $20. The correct answer is Timothy Hutton, former member of Three Dog Night, recorded a studio album called Turbo Cycle, or the CC album. Sadly, the album was never released. Only tracks were found on Napster. Does anybody remember Napster? But they were on Napster for a while. And then after lawsuits that shut down Napster, the songs vanished again. And according to A&M Record Company, the entire album is still in the musical vault. Because of legal issues, the album has never released. But the correct answer was Timothy Hutton of Night. All right, moving on to the next one. Question 11. Depeche Mode. What classic hit by Johnny Cash did the band cover with blessings from an iconic Man in Black? Was it A, Sound of Silence, B, Enjoy the Silence, C, World in Eyes, or D, Personal Jesus? I remember Dial Up. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to hear that anymore every time I get online. That drives me nuts now. Right card, love Depeche Mode. D. Well, D seems to be a popular answer. Oops. Well, it's still going to be on the screen there. And Elaine, good evening and welcome to Music Trivia. I'm glad you could be here. Depeche Mode's classic hit of Johnny Cash. What classic hit by Johnny Cash did the band cover with blessings from the iconic Man in Black? Pet Shop Boys? I haven't heard any Pet Shop Boys music in a while. There were so many bands in the 80s that just kind of faded away, or at least not, they're not, don't talk about them as much, or maybe they're not releasing new music that are hits. Rotary Dial, good evening. Welcome. The computer out the window with the up. Betty Blue. E. I Walk the Line. Depeche Mode. What classic hit by Johnny Cash did the band cover with the blessings Man in Black? I had to have a second phone line when there was dial-up. Yeah, the only person I know who still has a landline is she's the only person I know of with a landline. No, I don't know anybody who has a landline anymore. Love Johnny Cash? So do I. So do I, Betty Blue. You still have a landline? All right. What classic hit by Johnny Cash did the band cover with blessings from the iconic Man? Correct answer is D as in dog. Personal Jesus. Betty Blue knows two people with landlines. Personal Jesus, D and dog was the correct answer for question 11. Sticking with Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode is a different name for a pop band or any music. However, their first and original name was even more out there. What was it? What was Depeche Mode, the band's name, before they settled on the name Depeche Mode? Was it A, Twilight Moonbeam, B, Composition of Sound, C, Rain Puddle, or D, Mighty Mighty Notes? Might C notes. Sorry. Not might C notes. Not like a boss tones. That's what I was thinking of. Mighty. Shady MI5. Good evening and welcome to Music Trivia. I use it like the only reason why my line is because my father is he's Well, he's had a whole bunch of strokes. I think he's had like five strokes. Yeah, but they have to have something that's guaranteed always going to work, and they need to call 911. So they have a landline and pick it up, or it's always going to be there. But otherwise, they don't use it for anything else. I can't even. I can remember the last. I think maybe back when me and my wife were dating, I might have called the land once or twice, because back then there wasn't, cell phones were just starting to come out. To the point where they weren't like bricks in your hand anymore. Still remember my Motorola phone was about the size of a can in comparison to my hand. How big that is. This is a 20-ounce Red Bull. I use it a lot. I use the phone for other things, and I don't live. Depeche Mode is a different name for a pop band or musical band. However, their first and original name was even more out there. What? What my wife did. They're convinced that she's pregnant as well, but we don't know who we think just abandoned her. We had a lot of problems with that, especially during the housing crisis. Is that where we live, a lot of come and go. A contract ends, people don't have a job, they move. A lot of people that would dump dogs and cats in our housing development. But I'm sorry, Samantha. I'm sorry. There's nothing that I can do on my end. I'm watching the thing. It's bouncing between 5 bars of internet, 1 bar. Nothing I can do about the sound or everything I can right now. Trust me, if I could make it better, I would. Okay, question 12. The correct answer is B, as in boy. Composition of sound was the name of Depeche Mode. From underwater. Is that what it sounds like, right, Cart? Like I'm underwater? I'm sorry. But for question 12, B is the correct answer. Composition of sound. That was the name of the band before they became Depeche Mode. Question 13. True or false? The artist known as Sting was never the lead singer for the band Police. True or false? Was Sting ever the lead singer for the band The Police? Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Rotary dial. I choose B. I can't spell it. Good enough. Synchronicity is what you're trying to say, but I got that. Since there are only two answers, I guess no, B, and oh, I'm so confused. My retired law enforcement uncle's favorite band, The Police. C. Sometimes false. That's Reichart. Well, you make me chuckle when you say, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Well, but you get a kick out of it, Jennifer. Something that they used to say when I was in the service. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Confused. You won't be after the next episode of Soap. LOL. Wow, there's a show that I haven't seen in a long time. Soap with Billy Crystal. Man, that's an oldie. Most controversial show for its time ever. Reichart, it's a military saying. Yep, it definitely is. False. Artist known as Sting never answer is B. False. He was never the lead singer himself. Guitar. He refused and put in the band. Was the lead of anything, even though companies may have listed or someone else as the singer. As in his interviews and court filings, they listed themselves. Everyone was because the band couldn't exist without each member, and they're equally just as important. Buffering, dash, dot. All right. Where's the stupid cursors? Question 14. Police. Why did of the band every each hand, every hand, the band, every member of the band, every back every hand, all was it A promotion for a hair company, Was it B, a promotional gimmick unrelated to any company? C, paid by Wrigley Gum Company to do it? D, Sting wanted them to. Why did every member of them dye their hair blonde in every stagehand? Gargle, gargle, gargle. Probably should have got myself a snorkel for this, huh? Repeat, please. Why did every member of the band Police, including every backup singer, every stagehand, all dye their hair blonde? Was it A, a promotion for a company? B, a promotional gimmick unrelated to any company? C, it was paid for by Wrigley Gum Company? Or D, Sting wanted them to? Lather, rinse, and repeat, Will. You take away the grays. I'm gonna wash those grays right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash those grays right out of my hair. They want to be called Blondie. Watch the soap. I guess well, true enough. D, but they knew to chew gum. They knew how to chew gum. Why did every member of the band, every backup singer, every stagehand all color their hair blonde? For question number 14, the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is C, as in cat. They were paid to do so by the Wrigley Gum Company. It was a promotion for the Wrigley Spearmint Gum. They all dyed their hair blonde for the ad for the company, for Wrigley Spearmint Gum. C as in cat. All right. Question number 15. Madness. What song was their biggest hit around the world? Was it A, Dancing All, B, Crazy Times, C, Our House, or D, Lil Sarah, aka Debbie? What was Madness's biggest hit around the world? Madness, I call it gladness. Out your house, Will. Shrugs. Yeah. Jennifer C. Maybe. Oh, question. Badness. Madness. Badness. Gladness. Do the nutty dance. I actually like this song. I thought I think Madness was a good band. I mean, I'm not much into ska music, but I thought it was a good one. They had some really good songs. But we're looking for which one is their biggest hit around the world. My ex-hubby loved ska. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that do like ska. It's just not for me. There's certain types of music that just that appeals to me a lot more. You're an '80s fan, Shady MI5. Madness. What was their biggest hit around the world? The correct answer for question 15, ladies and gentlemen, is C as in cat, Our House. Our House was their biggest hit around the world. Question 16, sticking with the band Madness. Where did the song House of Fun originally chart in Japan in 1982? And that is when the song came out, was 1982. House of Fun. Was it number 1, number 21, number 7, or number 109? Where did the song Our House of Fun officially chart in Japan 1982? FBI in disguise, MI5. The song House of Fun. Another great song by Madness. Did you really come out of the water wheel? You sound normal now. Well, I'm glad I sound normal now, right, Cart? But I'm sure it's going to get awful again. I'll improve the quality of the stream. My apologies to everyone. But there anything I can do about it? Kind of just at the mercy of whatever signal is going at this point. You don't know this song? All right, it's shame. Here's a little sample of House of Fun. Can't play anymore. So that's a little sample of this. Sorry about that. That's a little sample of House of Fun by Madness. Okay, question number 16. Where did House of Fun officially chart in Japan in 1982? Question number 16. The correct answer is C. It hit number 7 in Japan, but it did not chart any higher, and then eventually it fell off the charts completely before the end of the year. Yes, the Nutty Dance. All right, question 17. Mick Jagger and David Bowie had a hit with which song? Was it A, Beat It, B, Dancing in the Streets, C, Vulgar Display of Power, D, Cat Scratch Fever? Mick Jagger and David Bowie had a hit with which song? Madness, useless fact. Their song Midnight Boat to Cairo was about cashing you. Huh. B, 1984. Mick Jagger and David Bowie had a hit single with which song? I remember when David put out a video before that his wife released after their his death. It's scary. E, Billie Jean. Government benefit check. All around the world, everybody in the streets dying. Look it up. I will, Colleen. I will. After stream. Mick Jagger, David Bowie had a hit with which song? Was it A, Beat It, B, Dancing in the Streets, C, Vulgar Display of Power, or D, Cat Scratch Fever? The correct answer to question 17, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy, Dancing in the Streets. And this is a video. The picture you see on your screen is from that actual music video, Dancing in the Streets. Beat It is Michael Jackson. Vulgar Display of Power is the name of the album by Pantera. So Beat It is Michael Jackson is the correct answer to question 17. Vulgar Display of Power was the name of the album by Pantera, and Cat Scratch Fever is the name of the album by Ted Nugent. No sound now? No? Nothing? Anybody hear me? Okay now? All right. Question 18. Lionel Richie didn't start off as a solo artist. What band did he start off with? Was it A, the Commodores, B, Kool and the Gang, C, the B-52s, or D, Three Times? Lionel Richie didn't start off as a solo artist. What band did he start off with? Was it A, the Commodores, B, Kool and the Gang, C, the B-52s, or D, Three Times? E, the Doobie Brothers. I was talking to Tim last night, and I was trying to convince him that we need to fly back to Maine because the band Leonard Skynyrd, well, what's left of the band, and this is the 40th anniversary tour, but they say that they're most likely not going to tour ever again after this one, but they're playing in Bangor, Maine, and Tim's from Old Town. Maine, and I was like, we can fly back there, watch, see the concert, and then fly back. And he's like, "Is that the closest they're coming to you?" And I'm like, "Well, no, they're actually coming 100 miles away from here, but that way you get to see your family." B-52s and Love Shack, baby. Drop me off a lobster on the way. He's like, "I don't know, that'd be really expensive." I'm like, I mean, think about all the other money that we spend on other useless things. Bring me a lobster. My daughter is currently in her third year of university in Bangor, Wales. Ah. Lionel Richie didn't start off as a solo artist. What band did he start off with? The correct answer is A, as in Apple, the Commodores. Lionel Richie started off with the Commodores. Question 19. Sticking with Lionel Richie. Bad hair, bad dancing, crazy clothes. What song and video was number one for 4 weeks in 1983? Was it A, All Night Long, B, Hello, C, Lady, or D, Stuck on You? Traveling can be fun. For me, with 3 kids, it's a nightmare. Yeah, traveling with little kids is not fun. Feel your pain there. But mine, we have a 5-year-old, and we don't travel with him very much at all. If it is, it's small car rides, or we have to take a car ride, we break it up into sections. Never like, if we have to go anything more like 200 miles or something, or 100 miles, we'll break it up into steps. 60 miles, maybe 70 miles, and then we pull over, we take a break, let him get out, run around. He doesn't deal well with long car rides or traveling, flying. That's not something that I want to do again. But we flew back to Minnesota for my grandmother's funeral. That was not fun. That was the most direct flight we could get was 5 hours from Washington State to Minnesota. We had to fly to like Texas, then to Chicago, from Chicago, then to Minneapolis. That was the most direct flight we could get on short notice. Is it me or four? I was sick of hearing it. Yeah. It's always an adventure traveling with children. Lionel Richie, bad hair, bad dancing, crazy clothes. What song and video was #1 for 4 weeks in 1983? The correct answer is A as in apple. All Night Long was #1 for 4 weeks in 1983. TMI, he made love to all these songs. Yeah, I mean, they're all great songs. I'll give you that. Question 20, the Inner Peas inspired question. Who holds the record for hosting the world's largest free concert ever with 3.5 million people in attendance each day? Was it A, Dimebag Darrell, B, Rod Stewart, C, Sam Hopkins, D, Gene Simmons, E, Dolly Parton, or F, Morgan Wallen? Who holds the world's record for hosting the world's largest concert of 3.5 million people in attendance each day? Black Eyed Peas. G. How did I inspire this one? It's got multiple, more than the average number of options with the questions to Inner Peas. So instead of just having A, B, or C, or D, it's got the E and the F. You always guess the E or F or something else. G. Right card. E. Dolly Parton. Rod Stewart was your first concert? I can't remember. I've tried to remember, what my first concert was. I can't. I know it was a concert that I went to with most likely with my mother when I was just a little kid, but I can't remember what it was. I've seen so many different concerts over the years. Hundreds, literally hundreds of concerts. Genesis, I would love to have seen Genesis with Phil Collins. Well, thank you, Colleen. sorry, the internet service sucks, but questioning, who has the world's record for hosting the largest concert ever with 3.5 million people in attendance each day? My parents dragged us to see Sean No. I'm not familiar with Sean No. Dragged us to see Paul Revere and the Raiders. Wow, I haven't heard Paul Revere and the Raiders in a long time. My mother used to have a Paul Revere and the Raiders record album. She went and saw them in concert, and she actually got the the cover of the album signed by the band. They all autographed it, but she got rid of all of her records, like back in the '90s when the CDs, were really popular. She got rid of her record player and all of her records, sold it all off at a yard sale. I think one guy bought all of it. Gone are the days when you could get a ticket to see U2 for 40 pounds. Shana Na, Shana Na with Bowser. That it goes back right there. Shana Na. I remember Shana. Who holds the world's record for hosting the largest concert ever? The correct answer is B as in boy. Rod Stewart hosted the world's largest concert. 3.5 million people in attendance each day. It was 2 days long, but 3.5 million people per day. That is all 20 questions. My parents had me listen to Lawrence Welk. I used to listen to Lawrence Welk. My father did. He used to come home and he would he'd take off his work shoes and put on his slippers, and then he would go into the living room, and me and my sisters used to line up by the doorway there and wait for him, because he would sit down and my mom would bring him a cup of coffee, and he used to eat these stupid hot disgusting peppers that are in a jar. He'd love to eat those hot peppers and then have a cup of coffee. But he was done with his cup of coffee, then we could all go in and see Dad. But yeah, he used to, but he would put Lawrence Welk on the record player, or one of the members of the the Brat Pack, either Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, or something like that. But Lawrence Welk, we used to have to watch that on television. I think it came on. For some reason, I want to say it was on like Friday or Thursday night on television. Tiny Bubbles. And then after Lawrence Welk was always Name That Tune. I always, even as a kid, I thought that show was fixed. How can you name a song in 2 notes from a piano? Ding, ding. Okay, whatever. I walked into my first concert, Slayer, and was pushed into a mosh pit. Wow. Love the Rat Pack. My mom always loved them. Old blues, Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra was definitely one of my dad's favorites. But my dad used to play the organ. We had an organ in our living room for the longest time. Don't go anywhere. I got a picture I want to share with you guys, with everyone. If I can find it. There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you do not laugh at the picture you're about to see on your screen. This is me and 3 of my 4 sisters. My little sister wasn't born yet, but that little blonde-headed kid right there in the yellow shirt and green slacks is me. To my right is my sister Kimberly. To my left in the white dress is my sister Kristen. And the one in the plaid dress is my sister Dawn. But we're sitting on the bench for at my dad's organ in our living room. Hi, Mike. You look good in white. Dun-dun-dun. That was good. Yeah, I had blonde hair when I was until I was about, I don't know, 14, 15, somewhere in there. Right about time, going into puberty. Then my hair got darker. My son, his hair started off blonde just like mine, and then about a year and a half ago, his hair went dark, just like mine. But that's me and three out of my 4 sisters. My little sister wasn't born yet. She didn't come along until a couple of years later. My sister Kimberly in the green and white dress, may God rest, in peace. She passed away some years back, but yeah. All the memories. Kimberly I with an I. Wee cute little Will. I mean, you look at that picture though. My son looks almost exactly like me. Now. Yeah, that picture there. I don't know how old I am there. I don't have the photo albums. All of the photo albums that my mom kept throughout the years. I gave my sister Kristen, the one that was in that picture in the white dress. She has all the photo albums. We gave them all to her for safekeeping because for years and years and years I lugged them all over this damn world. But I said, look, you can have them. You're retired and living in one spot, and you're not going to move around. You're not going to get damaged or lost. My twins alike for pictures. Thank you for your time tonight, Will. God bless you and your family. Well, thank you, Betty Blue, and God bless you and your loved ones and family as well. You haven't changed a bit. I'm guessing you were about 5. Yeah, between 5 and 8-ish, right in there. I mean, I don't know. I would have to actually see the back of the photo, and I don't have them because my obviously telling you my sister has all the albums. So without seeing the information on the back of it, I don't know what year that was. I mean, it's obviously in the 70s, but I don't know. But I guess I was cute at one point. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how I got that photo. It was my sister. She put them all on a scanner and then sent me a bunch of them to because I wanted pictures of what I looked like when I was a kid because everybody keeps on looking at my son and they're like, oh, he looks just like you when you were younger, when you were a little kid. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't have any photos of me here in my home. I have nothing on the walls of pictures of me. And I've got photos that are all over my house. Grandparents, great grandparents, and alike, church photos, wedding photos, anniversary photos of my family, that are hanging up there framed all over the house. But I don't have anything of me. There's a huge gap there. So I asked my sister if she could digitally scan them and send them to me, and she did. She sent me a bunch of them just by email. I printed some of them out on the photo paper here on my end from a printer, a laser printer. Twins in the house. Excuse me. Lots of twins in the chat, Will. Your sisters were twins, but they look nothing alike. My friend John and his brother Jesse, they're paternal twins like that, but they're not identical twins. They're paternal twins. They look nothing alike. You wouldn't even know they're from the same mother and father. Hello from Michigan, Louise. Good evening, Louise. We just finished trivia, Louise, but you can watch it and rewind. But you can hang out in the chat with us for a little bit. Wonder if Will could do a poll and see how many of his watchers are twins. Will, find out how many of your subscribers were ever in a double mint gum commercial. That might be an interesting poll. We'll find out how many twins actually watch. I mean, but you have to understand. I couldn't do it about my subscribers though, inner P's, because 84.5% of all of the people who watch my content are not a subscriber, have never been a subscriber. 84.5% of all the people who watch my content, people who are here in the stream, people who are, watch my, and you'll see them in the comment section of my videos. They've never subscribed to my channel. So I would have to be, all right, I'd have to word the question, how many people who watch my content have ever been in a double mint commercial, or how many people are twins? So I have to word it something like that. You're subscribed? Mike Stevens, I've subbed for years. Amy's a subscriber. Shady Man MI5 is a twin. And thank you for being a subscriber. It's absolutely free to be a subscriber and to give this a thumbs up if you like the content. One is probably my TV. I can't keep it signed into an account because it's so old it won't load up. Well, thank you, Louise, for subscribing. I appreciate it. I had a neighbor who wanted to be a twin. She would run in her house and they say, I'm a twin. I'll get her, then I'll come back out of the house again by myself. Mel, good evening, Mel. Well, and everyone, I'm so sorry to have missed tonight's music trivia. My health is my conjoined twin, and I have no love for it. Well, Mel, I hope you had a wonderful weekend, though. I hope that your health gets better. Non-identical? You and your twin are non-identical, Shady Man? All right. I need reminders for hitting the like, and I'm thankful to be reminded. I always found it weird when people who have twins, dress them identically. I remember in high school that they were both, they still live here, and locally in the same area. But in high school, we had two brothers, and the mother always dressed them both identically. Same shoes, the same pants, shirt, stuff like that. So every day that they went to school, when they were in high school, they always dressed alike. You could always tell, one from the other, because one would always, tuck in, his shirt, and the other one would not. So you could kind of tell that way which one was which, twin. Always keep it real and not boring. I absolutely love the skits. They are so funny in a good way. Well, good, Colin. I'm glad you enjoy them. There'll be another one tomorrow. Another skit tomorrow. Already uploaded. It's just unlisted right now on my channel. 2 o'clock tomorrow. It launches. Mommy is still dressing them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they owned here locally. They owned a bar for the longest time. What are you doing?
Do we have any more sour cream or cream cheese?
No. There was only the two in the house in the refrigerator.
All right.
No more sour cream.
I'm off then.
Is your mother home yet?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear something outside my studio, and I didn't see her come in through the door. That was my daughter looking for sour cream in our backup refrigerator. We have a upright freezer a chest freezer, and another refrigerator in here that's outside the studio in the hallway. 1967 was a big year for twin births. 8 sets of twins in my year at secondary school. Wow. Amy, you and your twin have always dressed differently. Well, good, Colleen. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock tomorrow. The skit goes live. I have it set scheduled to launch tomorrow. Something in the water. That's a lot of set of twins in one area. I have no twin, but my poor health is attached to me. It follows me everywhere. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up the stream there. I do appreciate everybody stopping in tonight to take part in music trivia. Next week, we will have a stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as long as they get the internet fixed. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to do this by, the current system that I have now if they don't fix the internet. But next week, we're supposed to have 3 streams, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday is supposed to be true crime trivia on Friday. Saturday is a Saturday morning news and chat, and then Sunday is music trivia. If you need the times, of those, if you go to my community tab on my channel, that you will see a time for where everything is uploaded. What time of the day, the streams are, what's released on that day. I went from 5 days a week to 7 days a week doing this. So at least for right now, until my wife, her schedule gets worked out. So I hope everyone enjoys the music trivia tonight. If you would give this a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. It definitely helps my channel reach, a larger audience. And, if you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will consider it. And I thank every one of you for being here tonight with me. I really, truly, appreciate everybody stopping in and, and taking part in these music trivia nights. We got to get more people out there aware of these music trivia. So thank you again, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And Rykart, you stay safe out there on those roads in America. People have absolutely lost their damn minds. And everybody else, you have a safe and pleasant week ahead if I don't get to see you beforehand. Bye, everyone.